That's right. For those of you sleeping in this morning, you missed the absolute shitstorm, I guess is the best way to describe it. Sorry, Mom. Um, Shout out Jared in the comments. Maybe Kenny got indicted on money laundering as well. That's why he's not here. I don't know, but we still press on. But this morning, we all woke up to the Shams bombs, the ShamWow, as we call them here on this show, where it was announced that Terry Rozier, formerly in some gambling trouble, was arrested. I don't know that that one was much of a shock because it's happened before. Scary Terry's been down that road before. But the big news was a sitting NBA head coach, one Chauncey Billups, was arrested for his participation in an illegal gambling ring. Looks like it was mostly poker, but it's tied to a larger investigation. And I want to play the clip now that I picked up off of X, and then we're going to deep dive in on what that means.
Mostly in the form of prop bets on individual player performance. The bets were placed through online sports books and also in person at casinos. The defendants relied on a network of straw bettors to place the maximum amount of bets to increase their potential profits. Most of these bets succeeded, and the intended losses were in the millions of dollars. The defendants then laundered their illegal winnings in various ways: peer-to-peer platforms, bank wires, and simple cash exchanges. The indictment details specific examples where the defendants profited from illegal gambling and illegal betting on various NBA games about the performance of players on, among other things, the Charlotte Hornets, the Portland Trail Blazers, the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Toronto Rangers. Each defendant in the NBA basketball gambling case has been charged with conspiracy to commit wire fraud and conspiracy to commit money laundering.
Yeah, what a wild turn of events this is. So some of the indictments are pretty damning, pretty scary. One of the victims lost over $1.8 million. And it makes you wonder, like, what is this all tied back to? If y'all remember, Gilbert Arenas was arrested earlier this year, and then all charges were dropped. He was let go, walk a free man. And we all kind of poked fun at it, but maybe Gilbert was the informant that they've been looking for, because they have found there's been 31 people that have been charged. There is 31 defendants charged with participating in a nationwide scheme to rig illegal poker games under the guise of playing poker with former NBA players, Chauncey Billups and Damon Jones. They were using an x-ray table to read the cards as they were laid face down. They had special glasses and contacts to be able to read marked cards to know what the other people had, and were just robbing these poor folks blind. It's one thing to be a celebrity making millions of dollars, and then you go rob these poor people of millions of dollars in poker games that are supposed to be fun, charitable events. This whole thing just feels kind of gross. But speaking of Terry Rozier was arrested and charged with allowing or providing illegal information, as y'all saw in the video, for prop bets. Specifically, one game that they mentioned in the indictments was on March 23rd, 2023, where Terry Rozier said that he was going to leave the game early with an injury. And so there was a bunch of people that hopped in and bet the under. Look at here. I told y'all he is off the stand. I told y'all Kenny was coming. He was being pressed by the FBI for information. So Kenny, thanks for hanging out, man.
Well, listen, you texted me earlier and you said, "Hey, I might need you." I'm literally just saw your text and said, "Hey, you're up. Let's go." I was like, "Oh my God, I got to get on the show." I had to fix everything. Everything's all crazy over here, bro. I'm good though. Let's go.
Yeah, man. I listen, we're just talking through the indictment. I played the video that Pear sent us earlier today, and just talking about Scary Terry. On March 23rd, 2023, he said he's going to go out early with an injury. There was more than $200,000 were placed on the unders for Terry, and then he goes out with an injury 9 minutes into the game. And these bets paid out tens of thousands of dollars to several people that were participating from the Italian mob. Like, tell me this doesn't read like a Hollywood movie, Kenny.
Are you surprised? Should I be surprised that the mafia is still around? Like, no. I'm a little bit surprised. Like, I thought it was kind of an old school, like not really around as much anymore. Like most of the stuff that was, illegal back in the day is now legal. Like what?
Mhm.
So what? Like what are they doing here? But yeah, man, I am still trying to catch up on all of it. It is crazy.
I mean, this is going to be wilder than any movie they could make, Jared. It's unbelievable. But what's funny is you see all these tweets, right? Like, shout out Mike Bovis, I guess, Beauvis on Twitter. He tweeted out, the NBA is very concerned about the multiple arrests made as a result of the FBI sports gambling code. Use code multiple arrests for 30% profit boost on a 3-leg parlay with DraftKings, the official gambling partner of the NBA. And so, like, that's what this is. Like, the NBA is in a really weird spot. Adam Silver is definitely kind of feet to the fire here, see what he's going to do. David Stern would have been retiring folks by now. Like he did with Michael Jordan back in the day. Scary Terry would be in the Caribbean. Chauncey Billups would be in the Caribbean. And I don't know that word of this would have ever got out. But instead, it kept going on. The lid is blown off. And this thing is going to get really gnarly before it's all said and done. Because there's been 30 people arrested, 13 members of the La Cosa Nostra, the Italian mafia. And it expanded across years, across 11 states. So this is a massive thing. And I don't think we fully appreciate, in the shock of everything, how big of a story this is going to end up being.
I mean, it is such a wild juxtaposition of like news reports, because even yesterday I got an ESPN notification that said college coaches and college players are now allowed to bet on pro sports.
Yep.
And then the next day is everybody's getting arrested for betting on pro sports.
Yeah.
Like, it is, sports gambling is it's still a wild west out there. I think that there's regulations and things that are in place. Obviously, you see what's going on today with all the, the federal indictments and things like that. But it is such a wild environment to, like, who can bet, when can they bet, how can they bet, those kinds of things. Like, it is. I am really interested to see how deep this goes, right? Like
what Jared just said.
Yeah. Like, how deep does this go in terms of, like, are there really, like, how many players are involved? Like, how many coaches are involved in this? Like, is this something that is like, and what does this do to the game that we just want to enjoy? Like, we just want to enjoy. Is any of it, like, this is where my conspiracy brain comes in. Is any of it real? You know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely, man. When this thing's been going on for 4 years, over $7 million was lost across the span of this investigation. Like, this is a federal indictment. These are the alphabet boys. This isn't just like, this isn't Shelby County Sheriff, right? This is like the head of the FBI had a press conference today about it. Like, this is a massive deal that's going to change the landscape of sports. And I'm curious, like you and Jared said, how deep this thing goes. And then what is the long lasting repercussions? But there's so much marrying of sports and sports gambling. We work with FanDuel all the time. Love FanDuel. Super happy to be a part of that network. I gave them some money last night because Jared decided to foul out. But that's neither here nor there. But, like, what is this going to look like as we continue down this road? Like, what is there going to be a separation of church and state again, where you've got sports and gambling that are separate, or is this thing just too deeply enmeshed and too much money going on to change anything?
The problem is it's not inherently that sports gambling is wrong. It's clearly, if we thought that, we wouldn't be involved with FanDuel, right? Like,
right. And it's not.
And it's not. Like, sports gambling is a fabric. It's a part of sports and culture, and it's been that way forever. The difference is, the big part is instead of being distracted by the idea of, is sports gambling bad or not, it's who's sports betting, like, how are they doing it, and what kind of impact are they having? Like, like a Terry Rozier saying, I'm this amount of money on the unders on his prop bets, and then going out with an injury within 9 minutes of a game is, and I'm sure there's countless, other examples of that. You see Jonte Porter being forced, right? Like, you see a bunch of these guys, and you're just like, that's where the regulatory thing needs to come into play. Like, how are they going to be able to, like, regulate the players that make money playing the game, that have a specific hand, the coaches that have a specific hand in these lines and these bets and these parlays and all these different kinds of things being put out there. How are you going to be able to keep the integrity of the actual match safe from that need, that desire for that quick money of, man, I can just sit out the rest of this game and I can make
extra money. I mean, that's it. Real quick, Shams Charania just tweeted out, I mean, the most obvious tweet he's ever made, that Portland's Chauncey Billups and Miami's Terry Rozier have been placed on immediate leave by the NBA. I mean, kind of obvious. But like, this is it. Just like Kip said here, like, you got all that stuff to bet on. Don't bet on your own sport, bro, because like, they're going to want to bet. Like, people bet. It's fun. It's a fun way to make sports interesting. But this is a multi-billion dollar industry that these people are directly, like, these athletes are directly responsible for the outcome. And you and me hitting on bets, Kenny. And so what is it going to look like going forward? How are we going to be able to put the toothpaste back in the tube with allowing athletes to bet? Because I think they should be able to bet, but how can we protect the sanctity of the game that they're playing, to where we know they're giving their best effort. They're not ducking out with the injuries. They're not doing these things to throw lines, because we've had it with an NBA ref, and now we're kind of seeing it come back with NBA players. It's a scary situation for a game that we all love and enjoy. And because last night was so much fun, right? Like, watching our team play.
Yeah.
But if you're betting millions and millions, not that I have millions to bet, but we as a collective, like betting millions of dollars on these games, there's got to be some kind of protection to make sure that we're not throwing games and throwing bets. Shout out Shoeless Joe Jackson.
Well, this feels deeper than even just that. It feels, especially with the mafia and the organized crime being involved in it, you have to wonder, like, what is, I'm still trying to wrap my head around all of it. Like, this goes, like, was Terry Rozier, were Chauncey, and help me understand this. Chauncey was not arrested for betting on the sports, right? He was arrested for the poker gambling ring, right?
It was an overlapping investigation, but they were separate charges. There was two different investigations, and I thought this was funny. So there was here it is. So there's a Operation Nothing But Net, was the gambling investigation on the games.
Right.
While the poker investigation is called Operation Royal Flush. So they were a joint investigation, but separate charges.
Okay, man. The fact that the mafia is involved in this, the fact that La Cosa Nostra is involved in this is wild. It doesn't take much for me to wrap my head around the idea of a group of guys getting together, one of them being the NBA ball player, and saying, "Hey, listen, let's all make some extra cash here. Here's my prop bets. It's just 1 game, 2 games, 3 games. I'm going to sit out, bet my props and bet under on my props, and we'll make some extra cash for my guys, right? Or for myself, whoever it may be." But the fact that the mafia is involved in this is like, bro,
deep.
Like, that is deep, man. Deep cut. And it's like, how are the connections made? Like, I'll be honest with you, man. I'm from Memphis, Tennessee. You're from Memphis, Tennessee. You're from North Mississippi. Like, when have you ever been in touch with a mafia member? Like, have you ever come into touch with one? Like, where do you find those guys? Like,
funny enough, I have. Just north of Corinth. There's this whole book called Ghost Tales: The State Line Mob. And there was all these shady characters involved with the Buford Pusser story. Everybody's seen Walking Tall with The Rock and that old movie and stuff. That happened just across the state line from Corinth, Adamsville, Mickey, Selmer, Tennessee.
Okay, yeah.
You can't drive anywhere over there. You drive through Adamsville. I drove through there last week for work, and there's a big sign, home of Buford Pusser. And a lot of those people were still around when I was a kid. And so we met some people in and around Corinth. But yeah, so it's called the State Line Mob. And it was a direct part of some of the coastal mafia along the coast of Mississippi that came up and set up just north of Corinth, Mississippi. So
yeah,
I know where you could find some. It's a great story, great read. But this is just like, and the gravity of a sitting NBA head coach to be arrested.
God. That is
like, this is this is unprecedented. Like, this is one of the, like, again, I don't think this happened at 7:00 this morning. My tea kettle hadn't even gone off yet to pour the water on my coffee to do my French press. So, like, I'm still wrapping my head around it. But the gravity of a sitting NBA head coach being arrested in an illegal gambling investigation. Now, again, it's separate from betting on games. It's one of the wildest things.
It's the craziest part. Like, I mean, you get Terry Rozier, you get Jonte Porter, you go, okay, that's fine. The two craziest parts of this entire thing, and I still don't know if they're connected or not. It doesn't sound like they are, but Gilbert Arenas being in touch with the Russian mob and getting arrested for that. And then Chauncey Billups, a sitting head coach, being arrested and now being placed on leave. Like, the ramifications and the ripple effects that are going to happen because of Chauncey Billups being arrested as a sitting head coach for the Portland Trailblazers.
A guy that we wanted in Memphis. Like, I advocated for him in some group chats. Like, I'd have been tickled to death if we'd gotten Chauncey Billups, and Taylor got fired. And now he's going to be sitting in a federal prison.